Welcome to our third and final 2025 season preview edition of Bruce Monin's Computer Points podcast. I'm Bruce Monin, your host. We also have our co-host, executive producer, and chief researcher, Rebekah Monin.
Always happy to be here.
Well, that's good to know, Rebekah. And back again for the third episode this year and ninth appearance overall is our guest, Mr. Van Wright.
As the leader in most appearances on this podcast with 9 in terms of guest roles, I want to thank Rebekah for the invitation to be a part of this. I particularly want to thank her for the research, the time she puts in to prepare us for this podcast. It helps me be successful in my work here with you, Bruce. You are the best of the best. It's Bruce Monin's Computer Points podcast. There are none better. There is no one more accurate, and there is no one who puts more time in than you. And with Rebekah's help, you will continue to be on top of everything in the great world of high school football in our part of the state.
Well, I will definitely admit Rebekah is instrumental in stopping many bad ideas from reaching this podcast.
I'll take claim for that one.
She's a true filter. She's a filter for you.
By the way, I am not recording this from the usual palatial studios in Minster, Ohio. I am actually in I don't know what this thing's called, some sort of room at the Cleveland Clinic where they put people to wait. I've been spending a lot of time here the last 2 months. Nothing about me personally, but I have reasons I need to be here. But it makes me so glad I did a lot of my preseason preparation work back during the Tour de France. Well, watching that, by the way, which was won by Tadej Pogačar for the fourth time this year.
This year?
Well, for the fourth time overall. He won this year for the fourth time overall. How about that? Let's clarify that. Combined with his dominance in other races this season, and he was dominant. When there's races with 180 riders in and you win 1 out of every 3 you enter, that's a little dominant. The debate has begun whether he is considered the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Is he time to pass Eddie Merckx? What do you think, Rebekah?
I find it hard to call anyone the greatest of all time while they're currently doing it. But, I guess LeBron's had that for a bit.
Yeah, you have a point there. And he still has 14 Tour de France stage wins to go to tie our man, Mr. Mark Cavendish, for the most stage
Cavendish
wins. So.
From the Isle of Man.
From the Isle of Man, yes.
The Manx Missile.
Ooh, yes. Among other things. So I'm also glad I did that work before I spent 10 days at the World Boardgaming Championships, where unfortunately I failed to bring any glory back to West Central Ohio. Won absolutely no titles this year. Not even close.
Bruce, you are 33 years. You've attended the World Boardgaming Championships. You've been a part of this for 33 years at the highest level. This is elite. This is not the United States board gaming. This is the world. This is the Olympics of board gaming for 33 consecutive years. My hat is off to you. You are the best of the best. You didn't win it this year. Your Axis and Allies, you were close with Axis and Allies there, coming back on the board game. You were close. No cigar this time, but congratulations on your 33rd year at the highest level of board gaming that can be attained.
Well, thank you. My best game actually had a 5 2-hour rounds. I actually destroyed everyone so badly in the first 4 rounds that I was the number 1 seed, even though I skipped the 5th round to go have supper.
Yep.
And then I immediately lost in the quarterfinals right afterwards. So started good, ended poorly in that event. And that was pretty much the theme of my week, other than the fact that I stayed up rather late socializing every night and ate a lot of cake and cupcakes while I was there too. So that may have contributed to my downfall. Mm-hmm. Also did a little bit of whatever that was, Van Gogh disco dancing or whatever at nights too. So
it's a Vangarithm. It's the Vangarithm.
Yeah, it's a Vangarithm.
When you can dance like that, you've got the Vangarithm in your mind, and that's what makes this podcast so accurate. It's all the work you do, and then the extra things, the Vangarithms.
When you're coming out of a big meeting of where they're giving out awards and you walk out and they're playing Take On Me on the dance floor. Things just happen that do not need to be videotaped and shown on this podcast. But that's the way it goes. And fun was had by all. So, but now that we're back and the season is almost upon us, we shall be previewing the 29 Division 7 teams from our West Central Ohio coverage area. And we'll also take a look at the 8 teams participating in 8-man football this year. Some slight changes there from last year. And once again, we will lump these teams into our 3 categories of likely, possible, and unlikely playoff teams. So let's get started. Division 7, Region 26, up in the northwest corner of the state. 29 teams here. That is, I don't remember if that's the most of any region, but if not, it's within one.
It's hefty.
And they're good teams. They're good teams, too. I am projecting it may take 7 to 8 wins to make the playoffs in this region. So a tough way to go for these teams here, which is why you'll find that the only team we have listed as a likely playoff team is Columbus Grove, who went 10-0 last year. We have projected to finish at the top of the rankings and go 10-0 this year. Our number 2, when we move to the possible playoff teams, our number 2 projected finisher is Toledo Christian. We mentioned this a couple of podcasts ago. They are moving up from Division 8, or from 8-man football, I should say. We really have no idea how to project how they're going to do. I'm thinking my current models may be a tad optimistic. We have them at 9-1. We shall see. If I were a high school football illegal betting man, I would pick them to finish a little lower than 9-1, but that's just, fortunately, such things are illegal, so I cannot bet and I can save my money.
Well, the Grok AI, when I called on Grok AI about Toledo Christian, because it is a wild card, and you phrase it so well, Bruce. What will happen in a team that has never taken the field in an 11-man game? What will happen in their first year? Grok AI forecast a 6-4 season. That is what I think will happen. I think they're going to win about 6 games. I don't see them making the playoffs in this region, but I think they're going to have some success. They got some athletes.
Yep, I can't say I disagree with you one bit there. That sounds reasonable to me. Again, it's going to be a grand experiment this year. Toledo Christian has been 11-man football, but not any of the players on this team. They have all played 8-man football in the past. So,
thanks for correcting me. Yes, these players have never experienced that.
Our other possible playoff teams, and I'm just going to list them off all in order here now. At 9-1, we have Upper Scioto Valley projected to be number 3. We have 4 teams projected to go 8-2. Pandora Gilboa at number 6, Lima Central Catholic at number 7, Waynesfield Goshen at number 8, and Ada at number 9. Boy, those all feel like playoff teams to me, but there's only 12 spots this year, so we shall see. Projected at 7 wins and thus on the borderline in this region, we have Ridgemont at number 11, Macomb at 13, Lipsick at 14, Hardin Northern at 15. And then just getting slightly lower, we have Arlington at 16 with a 6-4 record. And we have Antwerp at 18 and Delphi St. John's at 19, both projected at 5-5. Then we have 4 teams that haven't done so well the last few years. And like I said, with this many teams and going to need this many wins, it's going to be tough for this to be their comeback here, but we'll see how they do. We have Delphus Jefferson projected at 2-8, Corey Rawson at 1-9, and Arcadia and Van Loo, once again, as always, hoping to have enough players to get through the season, projected to potentially go 0-10 this year. When we look on the internet fan boards, everyone loves Columbus Grove. Why not? They seem to be at the top of this region most years. Like I said, I personally think this will be the hardest region in which to qualify for the playoffs. 7 wins may get you there, but I don't think it's going to guarantee you a spot. And that's pretty tough compared to the other regions that we've been mentioning before.
What so
tickle your fancy there, Van?
What a tough region. You said it so well, Bruce. I've got a couple teams in mind that I think can make that last 10, 12 spot. You've got a couple of them listed. In that group, though, I like the Macomb Panthers. You guys know from years past, I'm a fan of Macomb. I spent a lot of time there. I spend a lot of time there in my work with Bowling Green, and I'm a fan of those guys. I believe in them. They work hard there, so I'm thinking Macomb might be able to make that jump. Among the other teams in there, I think Ridgemont might not have they're had some good seasons. They may not get to the 7 or 8 wins. And I love Ridgemont. I love the Golden Gophers. I love them. But I'm concerned about Ridgemont right in the middle there. But I think you're right among those 3, 6, 7, 8. I like Upper Soda, Pandora, Waynesfield, a lot of history. And I like Ada, who has skill. Ada has skill.
Yeah, I kind of like to look at this region kind of on a conference basis. I mean, I'll start with like Lima Central Catholic in the Northwest Conference. You would say they're a playoff team most years. But boy, if you get a loss to a team like a Fort Laramie or a Spencerville this year, last year, no problem. This year, that could be a problem for them if something like that happens.
Bruce, Fort Laramie and LCC, they play early in the season. Is that correct?
That sounds right to me. I don't remember offhand, but yes.
That is going to be a huge game. That is going to be a huge game for LCC. You're right. You can't afford to drop those like you could maybe lose one the last couple of years. But boy, right now it's a struggle. I didn't mention Columbus Grove. Rebekah asked me to do a little bit of extra work with Grove because some people think that is a state title contender. I know you're in the same division with Marion Local and et cetera. Columbus Grove, I met with their superintendent in a private meeting and asked him about what he thought was going to happen. He said, Van, we have what it takes. The superintendent is really high on this team and this coaching staff, and they think they can win their 10 regular season games and then make a run. He says this team right here could be one of the best teams or the best team Grove has had. That's coming right from their school leader.
Well, I can see that, although I've been a little down on Columbus Grove ever since I saw them tear down that brick building at the main intersection of town where that pizza place was. I thought if they can't keep that going.
It's a good
Park
point.
there is pretty nice, though.
It is. It did make the place look nicer, didn't it?
It did open up the intersection pretty well.
Yeah, it did. You can see around the corner a lot better. So,
but for Bruce, traditions matter in the Monin household, and I hear you, Bruce. I'm with you. But I'll tell you what, when I walk the halls at Grove, it's just one thing. It's like we win is like comes out of the walls. It's like the vibe. The vibe is we win here. And that when you walk down the hall, you feel it. I mean, they're going to be good.
All right, I'll take your word for it. And it does feel like they win all the time. So next, I would say you've got the Northwest Central Conference. I'm thinking 2 to 3 teams out of this conference. I don't know which teams it is, but with all the conference play going on, if some team comes up, another one's got to go down. So I'm thinking it's going to be about a 2 to 3 bid league. Upper Scioto Valley is usually the team lately that wins that league. Ridgemont's been up there lately. Waynesfield Goshen has 2, but they only went 5-3 in league play last year. That could be, if that doesn't come back up, that could be a problem for them this year. Yeah. Hardin Northern been down a little lately too, but that's a team with there's enough tradition there. You never know which way Hardin Northern might come up.
The Polar Bears are one of the hardest teams to monitor or project in this entire third podcast. They have a chance for sure, but I'm a little concerned, as I said in this group, on Ridgemont. I think they take a step, maybe Hardin Northern takes a step forward, Ridgemont a step back. Respect all of them in the Northwest Central Conference.
Right. Next conference I looked at here is the Blanchard Valley Conference. Again, it feels like another 2 to 3 members of that conference will make the playoffs. Pandora, Gilboa, Ada, We both have projected to get to 8 wins. That sounds good for them. We have your favorite, Macomb, there. There's 3 teams already. That could make things tough for Lipsick and Arlington. They're going to need some conference wins over those 3 if they want to make it in.
The Lipsick Vikings have a long history, but I just don't see it this year. This 12-team situation, it's going to be tough. This is such a tough region.
We had down at the bottom, Delphi St. John's snuck into the playoffs last year at 3-7, thanks to a win over an 8-2 Sidney Lehman team. That's not going to be enough this year.
Yep.
Last year it was. This year, they're going to have to find some MAC wins. Yep. They're going to make the playoffs. Okay. Moving down to the southwest part of Division 7, we have Region 28. I showed 26 teams here, and on this region, I go back to most of the others. I'm predicting you only need 5 to 6 wins to make the playoffs here. So we'll start with, we have 4 teams in our likely playoff teams category. We have Marion Local graduating all kinds of seniors. I think in one game last year, their entire starting lineup on both sides of the ball were seniors. Our computer still says they go 10-0 this year. Coach Tim Goodwin's shaking his head right now. He says, I lost all these guys. There's no way. The internet says we don't care. They're going 10-0 this year. Tim Goodwin always gets them that high. We shall see. When it comes to Marion Local, this is one early season game I'm looking at. We're going to talk a little bit later about a St. Henry squad. Young team last year, showed a lot of potential. They get Marion Local in week 3 when Marion's still replacing all those graduating players. That could be a very interesting game to watch to see how both of those programs will end up the season, I think.
That is a great point, Bruce. That's a telling game. I don't know where the game's going to be played. If it's at St. Henry, that could. Coach Goodwin's the best of the best, but they lost so much. I know you say this every year, Bruce, or someone does. They lost everything. Well, but this year they did lose everything. They did.
Yeah,
they lost everything. I mean, it's incredible. They're at St. Henry. Rebekah, the researcher, sends me through my headphones into my iPod earpods that the game is at St. Henry. That is going to be an absolutely big one. Oh, my gosh. That'll be a sellout crowd.
Imagine the 50-50 at that game. That's going to be packed.
Oh, my word. Yes.
So back to our likely playoff teams. I also have Ansonia projected at 10-0 and finishing number 2. Minster 9-1 at number 4. Minster's another team, 18 graduating seniors from last year. And we'll talk about this other team in a little bit, but I saw an interesting stat the other day. New Bremen, one of our possible playoff teams here, has more seniors this year than Minster has seniors and juniors combined.
Wow.
So I'm guessing mathematically we're projecting Minster at number 4. The mathematics may be a little high on that one. We'll have to see. You never know how those reserves, how ready they are to step up. And that'll be a thing for both Minster and Marion Local this year.
They're so well coached at Minster and Marion Local. They're so well coached. But, boy, that is a lot of replacement. Minster losing that great multi-sport kid that threw the ball around and made so many basketball plays. But anyways, just a great kid and a great player. So he'll be missed there. But boy, I don't know. That is going to be 2 teams to keep an eye on that are just historically great, Marion Local and Minster. Now, Ansonia, as you know, they have the best athletic director, Clay George, the Bowling Green grad. So Clay George, one of the great young leaders in the state of Ohio for that athletic program. So they reload. The Tigers just keep going. They of course, they run into trouble against the MAC teams, obviously. Don't play the level of competition. But I like Ansonia. They're going to be good.
Ansonia's had a couple of real close calls in the playoffs against the MAC team they had to get past the last few years. They've been so close to breaking through. One of these years, it's going to happen.
Yep, I agree.
Our other likely playoff team, Sidney Lehman, we have them projected at 8-2. Remember, They actually lost to a 3-7 Delphus team early this year. They have to not lose their big games early this year. Like I said, this region not quite as critical as Region 26, but you still don't want to give those games away. Our possible playoff teams projected at 7-3, number 8 DeGraff Riverside. And then at 6-4, we have the trio here of number 9 New Bremen, number 10 Fort Laramie, and number 11 St. Henry. All teams with potential this season to do better. Maybe a little, they could do a little worse. Maybe tough schedules for all three, but I think potential to do better than we have projected for all three schools.
When you tell me that New Bremen has more seniors than Minster has seniors and juniors, that's a senior-laden New Bremen team. I didn't realize that, Bruce. You're way ahead of me on that.
And
yeah, wow.
That's a coach with 2 state titles there also, so he can coach them up.
Wow. They could be in for a little better year. DeGraff Riverside, home of the Pirates. I like the Pirates. Play hard, play clean, running team. I like them.
And finally, we have 3 other teams we follow in the region. They're going to have a tougher time. We have Fort Recovery, projected to go 3-7. Bradford to go 2-8. Miss-Sinewa Valley 1-9. New coach at Fort Recovery this year. Wes Wenning, Fort Recovery graduate, coming in to coach. Again, you never know in year one if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, replacing a state championship coach. So we'll see how it goes the first year. Marion Local, the favorite of the internet crowd, of course. They'll believe Tim Goodwin's going to win it all every game until he doesn't. And you know, those that don't learn from history are doomed to be wrong when they make predictions the next week, right?
That's right.
So, anything else on there that strikes you, Van?
No, I think Layman Catholic, I think they're going to be better this year, but I think you point out they've got a couple games in there. Laramie and Miami East is on their schedule. They've got some games here. They can't give away too many games, Layman, but I think they're going to be pretty good. I think they'll win most of those games. Big game with Laramie. They don't get along.
Yep. By the way, going back to Ansonia, also lost a large number of seniors last year, I believe. So, but as you said, they tend to just reload over there at Ansonia.
Well, you look at Laramie right there, you've got them playing. They've got Minster, Versailles, LCC, Columbus Grove, and Bluffton on the schedule. Really, for them to get a playoff spot, they can't afford. Those are all great teams, but I'm not sure they can afford to lose all those games and make it. I mean,
no, they better win at least one, if not 2 of those, I would think.
Yeah. And who are they beating in that group? I mean, it's going to take a great effort. LCC is a candidate. Maybe Versailles or at home, maybe. But boy, Columbus Grove's good, Bluffton and Minster traditionally. So tough schedule for Laramie in that group right there.
Yep. And we mentioned those teams, St. Henry earlier. Again, I thought very impressive last year when I saw them.
Oh, yeah.
And didn't lose a whole lot. New Bremen last year made the playoffs because they beat 5-5 Lima Bath and 7-3 Norton. Those teams are gone from the schedule this year. They replaced them with Wayne Trace and Covington. And from what we mentioned of Covington earlier, I'm really intrigued to see that New Bremen Covington game, which I believe is week 2.
Yeah, I think Covington's going to have one of their better teams in the last years. That's what I'm hearing down there from some of their staff, their actual teaching staff.
We mentioned Riverside before. Real similar schedule as Sidney Lehman. Last year, Riverside beat 9-1 Ansonia in week 1. Computer points all over the place from that game. Hard to count on that one, I would think. That was, in my book, quite the upset.
Huge upset. Huge.
If they don't win that one this year, they better not suffer many upsets during the regular season.
Correct.
All righty. And with that, we will move on to our 8-man football. There are 8 teams once again this year. We mentioned Toledo Christian no longer playing 8-man football. We have Oregon Cardinal Stritch this year joining into 8-man. So we have another team. There's also a team out of Pennsylvania. Most of these teams will be playing. Kennedy Catholic, if I remember right. Kennedy Christian, one of the two. Might be Catholic. They, however, are not in the conference, so they do not compete for the conference title. They do not compete for the Ohio High School Football Coaches Association 8-man football state championship, which will be held during the playoffs. The top 4 teams of these 8 in the conference standings move on to a 2-week playoff. So here's my likely teams to make the top 4. And I'm going to give you the projected record. Just a thought here, though. These numbers were compiled by teams that every year lose a lot to Toledo Christian, who's not here anymore. Their records may move up a little this year without Toledo Christian on the schedule. So first, I have 2 teams we have projected at 8-2, Sandusky St. Mary and Holgate. Love to see Holgate finish up there at the top. We have 3 teams I consider very possible. Southington Chalker at 6-4 and 2 4-6 schools, Lakeside Danbury and Fremont St. Joseph. And then we have 3 teams that are less likely. I put Oregon Cardinal Stritch there because they didn't even play football the last year or 2, much less 8-man football. Stryker we have projected at 3-7. They've won a few games the last couple of years, but not too many. Sebring McKinley was a new team last year, if I remember right, won a game or 2. We have them projected at 2-8.
Yeah, I love to talk about 8-man football. I know this is Rebekah's area of expertise, but Southington Chalker is the only school, Bruce and Rebekah, on the list for my 3 podcast appearances over these last few days. The only school I have never been inside or been to is Southington Chalker. I've never been there. It's outside Warren, Ohio. I know it's general vicinity, but I have never been there. Every school we've discussed or is listed here, I've been inside, but that one I've never even been to. So I hope they do well. But here's my prediction. Please note this, Rebekah. The state champion in 8-man football will be Holgate. Holgate will win it. They have the horses, and they got the speed you need. It's a different game. They got the speed you need at Holgate to win it. So that's my team. My surprise team on this list, my surprise team will be Fremont St. Joseph. I predict that they rise and make that 4-team playoff that they use. That's my analysis of 8-man. Oregon Cardinal Stritch, you're correct. They haven't played football. They're not a factor this year. They may be later, but not this year.
Yeah, I always find the 8-man really hard because just the difference of a player or 2 is huge in 8-man. As Rebekah and I noticed when we went to the championship game 2 years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
I found interesting, Southington Chalker 5-2 record in the conference last year, and the word is they have an unstoppable wide receiver. Now, if it doesn't say whether they have anyone who can throw the ball to their unstoppable wide receiver, which would be a help.
That's the trick, yeah.
You got to have both, but I'm glad that they think they've got a guy, so good for them.
If you got a guy that good, you can win a lot of games in 8-man football.
Yeah. But if you got 3 guys that good, you can win more, and that's what Holgate got.
Yes.
So if you got 3 guys that are tough to stop, and that's Holgate, I am picking Holgate to win it all in 8-man.
Well, I would have to admit, I would love to see it. And hopefully they play the game sometime when I can see it. That would be nice. So
that'd be even better. Yeah.
And since that's so hard to predict, we won't go much deeper into 8-man football. I think we're going to wrap up our previews. Scrimmages are starting soon. In fact, some will be done by the time this last podcast comes out. Full regular season gets going in late August, maybe Thursday, the 21st sounds right to me.
Correct.
I love a good Thursday night game in week 1 of the football season before school starts usually. And I believe there are several of them this year. So if you've been missing your high school football, get yourself a double or triple header weekend. Watch a little Thursday, a little Friday. There won't even be any college going. You can watch a Saturday game too while you're at it. And as Rebekah mentioned earlier, tune in after week 1. We will start another season of our weekly Bruce Monan's Computer Points podcast. Sometimes we like to sneak one in the week before. I can pretty much guarantee you I am so far behind, there will not be another podcast before the season starts. So look for us after week 1, and we'll have our usual shenanigans ready to go for you.
I'm really excited for this year's Team of the Week song. It might be the same one, but
We
it's
have
going to be fun either way.
We've received no new submissions, so as of now, we have the same choices for our Team of the Week song. So. And once again, as Rebekah likes to tell you, please subscribe to our podcast, watch it on YouTube. She's told you the last 2 times where to go to find these things. You know it. Send your comments and questions to us. Where do those go? Where do those go, Rebekah?
The comments and questions,
Yes.
they can be sent to the email address bdmonin@nktelco.net, submitted on X to @BruceMonin, or left in the YouTube comment section. If you would like a bit of a challenge, like a geocaching situation, you can hunt down Dad most Wednesday nights at Bud's Pizza, well, Wednesday early afternoons at Bud's Pizza for office hours, or around
Usually,
town.
yep.
You cannot find me. Don't find me. Thank you.
Don't try. We'll get a court order slapped on you so fast it'll make your head spin if you try to find Rebekah.
Bruce, what is your go-to pizza at Bud's Pizza? This is my closing comment. Thank you for having me on these first 3 podcasts. What an honor. What pizza should I order at Bud's, please?
My go-to pizza is the 9-inch double pepperoni, cooked a little bit well done, just a little longer than standard. I don't get it a little crispy.
Okay.
Sometimes, though, they just switch sausage suppliers, and I love the new sausage. So the pepperoni and sausage also works well for me.
Very good. Thank you.
All right. And with that, now you know what I'll be eating too. Come visit me sometime, and we shall see you after week 1. So long, everyone, and thank you, Rebekah and Van, for helping here. And we are out.
Very good.
We need to wait for Dad to find the recording button first.
I'm looking. There it is.